Tuesday, June 27th, housing organizers, TA presidents, along with tenants inside the Chelsea Fulton housing development held a rally and protest to fight against Nycha's demolition of their two buildings. And what a fight it was.
Don't touch it, don't touch it. Don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. And I got every right to defend myself. Hey, it's an old man, man. Keep your hands to yourself. Come on. What? Get it down. What the fuck you want to do? Fucking troublemaker. You know what? Fucking troublemaker. Project. Fucking instigator. Don't do it.
Tensions ran high in Chelsea tonight, 1 week after the city announced it will tear down and rebuild two public housing developments.
Just before a 6 p.m. meeting at Nycha's Fulton houses in Chelsea, some tenants lashed out at the Tenant Association president, Miguel Acevedo. Acevedo supports Nycha's $1.5 billion plan to demolish the Fulton and Elliott houses. He says it would have cost just as much to rehabilitate the buildings.
It wouldn't make sense to try to renovate something that's going to break.
Essence Development and related companies, which put up the nearby Hudson Yards, will put up these new buildings. It will include amenities like a doorman, in-unit heating and cooling, and dishwashers.
There are doors locked. You know, they feel more safer.
Nycha says all residents from the Fulton and Elliott houses will have units there, and rent will stay at 30% of their income.
I'm against the demolition. They came into my apartment and they said they were going to repair.
But Nycha says it surveyed residents and her vote was in the minority. 30% participated and 60% were in favor of the plan.
Some people didn't get a chance to vote.
The residents here recognize the value of their development. They understand that that value is going to be robbed when a private developer comes here. They're going to take 11 buildings, squeeze them into 5 buildings or worse. Why? So that they can build market rate.
I know that they building new things around. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody need a change, but just don't throw us out.
Dozens of Nycha tenants and advocates held a rally protesting the demolition of two public housing complexes in Manhattan. Tensions reached a boiling point Tuesday when residents clashed with members of the Fulton Houses Tenant Association.
An election took place. The cost of renovations in the RFP proposal was $367 million. After a survey was done checking all the buildings in both developments, it came up to $1.5 billion. So it wouldn't make sense to try to renovate something that's going to break.
And some say their voices have not been heard.
It's definitely not a representation. If we want to be democratic, we have to make sure that the majority, because this will impact every single resident. We can't afford to fail. What they do in this development will set the roadmap for development all across the city.
Just come in, make the apartments a little better, make the elevator a little better, make it better for us to live in, but don't just kick us out because we low income.
And I'm going to ask you guys to make space and to be quiet so that we can hear directly from the residents who want to tell their side of the story. That this is going to be a democratic process that we have to hear from everyone.
These people want to relocate you out of your apartment, and then what's going to happen? They're spending $1 billion, right? They're spending $1 billion for what? To throw it away? No way. They're going to spend $1 billion to make $3 billion, $6 billion, maybe $9 billion. Once they relocate you, they're just going to sell your unit, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it because there's a new landlord involved. It's no longer Nycha. When the new landlord gets you out, you try to come back. You're in court with the landlord. It's goodbye. You know that right now in the city of New York, There are literally thousands and thousands of apartments are empty, Nycha, and nobody's counting. All the elected officials are taking a ride on that issue. Nobody's counting. They say it's 6,000. It could be 60,000. By the time they finish with RAD, it could be 100,000. And where do you think they're getting the vacancies from? The people who live here, they're evicting them all over the city.
That we have in
The homeless crisis they have already. We got a mental crisis, we got a homeless crisis. Look at it, it's going to get worse. If you tear down public housing, you're going to have people sleeping in the streets all over. And it's not just happening in New York, it's happening all across America. You see what happened in Chicago in the last mayor's race. That was a proven point. Eric Adams has to listen to us. In the halls of government, it says other people, other people. It says other government, of the developer, and for the developer. We elected him. He worked for us and for sending a message. Just like we sent the mayor in Chicago packing, he's going to send him packing in 225. 9. They want to eliminate Section 9, so they don't have to go through the court. They're going to go through an eviction process and then put in a development. Something with rules to get you out of your apartment. That's what you're trying to do. Exactly.
Right now. This is going to help change lives, right? It's going to improve the overall quality of life, which is going to be fantastic for our residents.
It's not desirable to live here anymore. That's my understanding. But I'm really confused because I love living here. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Residents like Loretta Wilson feel the developments being near upscale neighborhoods like Chelsea and Hudson Yards are why these are being prioritized. Jamar Adams, CEO of Essence Development, behind the project.
It wasn't the fact of the location of this, why, it was the fact that, this is the next project that, the residents at Nycha selected that this would be done as a pact deal.
I got that survey, I didn't take it.
I got it, I didn't take it.
I'm not signing anything.
This resident says she felt cornered. She's talking about a survey that went out to residents that Nycha says about 30% participated in. Of those who took part, 60% were in favor of demolishing and rebuilding over just renovations. 6 years. Residents are promised controlled in-unit heating and AC, new dishwashers, washers and dryers, and a rooftop space. Nycha says about 80 households will be relocated to vacant units in the first phase of construction.
They decide to move us. I'm not going to move from one building for y'all to put us in another worse building and then to move us back in. I'm not doing that. We'll move back out of New York.
Nycha says most families won't have to move into temporary housing.
They're going to remain in their apartments until their new building and their new apartment is built, and they will make one move into a dramatically improved building.
Developers.
It's going to spend $1 billion. Biden's renovate them. That means they're going to make $3 billion, $6 billion, maybe $9 billion. You know how? By selling the units, because they will not bring nobody back.